Hello and welcome. My name is Mohammed Anas. Today I am going to present a critical overview and relation of the e-learning resource I designed. This resource focuses on leadership development in a global context with practical attention given to transformational leaders and how it compares with other leadership styles. The e-learning resource I created is a short self-paced digital learning module. It is designed to introduce learners to leadership concept in a clear and approachable way. The resource include a short explanation, visual support, real-life leadership examples, and reflective questions. It is mainly aimed at students and early career professionals who may not hold leadership position yet, but are beginning to develop leadership awareness through education, group work, and early workplace experience. The main purpose of this e-learning resource is to help learners understand what leadership is, explore different leadership style, and reflect on their own leadership behavior instead of presenting leadership as something only the managers do. The resource presents leadership as a shared and everyday practice that can be developed over time. The learning outcome of the resource focus on three areas. First, a learner should be able to explain key leadership style, especially transformational leadership. Second, they should be able to compare transformational leadership with transactional leadership and understand what each style is useful. Their learners could be able to reflect at their own experience and identify how they might grow as leaders. However, the effectiveness of the resource is limited but the lack of assessment. Learners are encouraged to think and reflect, but they are not required to demonstrate their understanding through quizzes or tasks. Research by Clark and Mayers suggests that learning improves when learners actively apply knowledge, and I personally believe learning by doing. In this case, learning remains mostly reflective rather than practical. So in this episode, I mainly focus on transactional leadership, a leadership style that encourages growth, motivation, and long-term development. I will also compare it with transactional leadership to clearly show how these two styles differ and why transformational leadership is increasingly important in today's organization. A key part of resource is the explanation of leadership style. Transformational leadership is the main focus because it is highly relevant to modern and global organization. Transformational leadership, as described by Burns and later explained by Bass, focuses on inspiring people, building trust, and supporting personal growth. Transformational leaders motivate others by creating a clear vision and helping people see meaning in their work. So, this comparison of leadership style encourages learners to think critically rather than memorizing definitions. This aligns with higher level of Bloom's taxonomy, such as analyze and visualization. Leaders today is no longer just about authority, position, or giving instruction. In the past, leaders were often seen as people who control tasks and expected According to Bass, transformational leadership has four key components known as the 4 I's. First, idealized influence, where leaders act as role models by showing integrity and ethical behavior, which build trust. Second, inspirational motivational, where leaders share a clear and meaningful vision that motivate people and give purpose to their work. And the third I is intellectual stimulation, where leaders encourage creativity, new idea, and learning from mistakes. Finally, individualized consideration, where leaders support and guide individuals based on their personal needs and potential. To understand transformational leadership more effectively, it is helpful to look at real world examples. One of my favorite, and we all know example of Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft. When Nadella became CEO in 2014, Microsoft was facing cultural challenges, internal competition, and lack of innovation. Nadella introduced a transformational approach by shifting the company culture toward learning, collaboration, and empathy. He proved the idea of growth mindset, encouraging employees to learn from failure rather than fear it. Understand this leadership employee engagement increased, innovation improved, and Microsoft regained its competitive position globally. Another strong example is Jacinda Ardern, the former Prime Minister of New Zealand. Her leadership style was widely recognized for its empathy, emotional intelligence, and transparent communication. During the toughest time of crisis, she demonstrated compassion while mainly clear direction. Her approach helped build trust between government and the citizens, showing how transformational leadership can unite people during challenging time. These examples shows that transformational leadership is not only control or authority, it is about connection, trust, and inspiration. Transformational leadership is practically important in a global context. Modern organizations are diverse, multicultural, and often operate across different countries and time zones. Employees come from different culture background with different values and expectations. In such environment, leadership based purely on rules and controls is often ineffective. Transformational leadership works globally because it focuses on shared values, mutual respect, and inclusion. It encourages leaders to adapt their communication and leadership style while maintaining a clear vision by valuing individual differences, promoting collaboration. Transformational leadership help global team work effectively together. To further understand its importance, it is useful to compare transformational leadership with transactional leadership. Transactional leadership is based on a structured system of reward and penalties. Leaders set clear expectation, monitor performance, and provide rewards when goals are achieved. This style works well in a stable environment, routine tasks, and situations where efficiency and compliance are required. That's very important. However, transactional leadership mainly focuses on short-term goals and external motivation. Employees may perform a task to receive reward rather than because they feel inspired or committed. Transformational leadership is contrasted focus on intrinsic motivation. It engages people to work because they believe in the vision and feel connected to the organization's purpose. Actually, it supports long-term goals, innovation, and employee well-being. Both styles have their places. Effective leaders understand when to apply structure and when to inspire change. However, in today's rapidly changing the global environment, transactional leadership is increasingly valued. Reflecting on my own learning journey during my MBA and my interactions with peers and groups activities, I have realized that I naturally connected with transformational leadership. I value open communication, collaboration, and learning from others. During group discussions, I often notice how different culture perspective influenced opinion instead of imposing one value. I found that listening, understanding, and finding common ground help the group work better together. Throughout this process, I because more aware of my own leadership behavior, especially during group discussions. I collaborate tasks. I notice that leadership often involve listening, understanding different viewpoint, and helping others feel included, so that they won't felt left out. This strongly connects with transformational and servant leadership principle. The design purpose also raised ethical and cultural consideration. I become more concerned of presenting leadership in an inclusive way rather than promoting one culture idea of leadership. This reflects the importance of ethical and global leadership in education. Despite its strengths, the resources has limitations. The lack of collaboration, feedback, and assessment limit deeper learning. As Kirkpatrick model suggested that effective learning should lead to behavior change, which this resource does not yet means. In the future, this e-learning resource could be improved by adding quizzes, scenarios-based activities, peer discussion, and follow-up reminders. These changes would support deeper learning and long-term retentions. In conclusion, this e-learning resources provides a clear and accessible introduction to leadership style with a strong focus on transformational leadership. While I support understanding and reflection, its impact could be strengthened through greater interactivity. Creating this resource has deepened my leadership understanding and clarified my future learning goal. Moving forward, I plan to continue developing my leadership skills through reflective experience, continuous learning in global and professional context. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.